this is a startup conclave, and I know you must be wondering why have they called me here. But of course, he runs his coaching academy, which is the center, the hub of Indian badminton. But as someone who's watched a lot of sports and covered a lot of sports, and as someone who've played and have now coached for a long time, I feel sports and life, business, entrepreneurship have a lot of common themes, because what an athlete goes through, I think a lot of entrepreneurs go through as well. When I read or listen to entrepreneurs, that's what comes out and stands out, that only they really know their struggle, isn't it? So do you feel like sports teaches a lot about business and business teaches a lot about sports?
Yeah, thank you. I really don't know why I'm here in that sense from a startup perspective. But to be fair, I think sportsmen get into the field with a lot of enthusiasm, not knowing where you end up at. There is a dream, there is hope, and in some sense, it's almost like an entrepreneur's journey. There's a dream, there is hope, you want to do it. Not everybody around you is believing in that dream.
Yes.
And I was lucky in some sense because as a player, I kind of was good at playing and was not very good at studying. Or I didn't have a great interest in studies as such. So for me, the choice of sport was easier. And in my career as such, in my playing career, I had an ACL tear when I was about 20. And I had another knee surgery at 22 and another knee surgery at 24. This at a time when Indian badminton was at its lowest. And to just put things in perspective, in 1994, India did not send a team for Commonwealth Games because the Indian government felt that India did not have a chance to be a top 6 finishers in the Commonwealth Games. So that is where my career was in 92, 94 when I got injured. So badminton was low, I was low, future of Indian badminton was not known. My future because of the surgeries was not known. The only thing I had was a dream, and the only thing I knew was badminton. The lucky thing was I didn't have a plan B. When I look back.
Lucky thing.
Today when I look back, I didn't have a plan B. I had no option but to succeed. I think that for me was important. And that is something which in my opinion helped me as a player. I wouldn't recommend it, but that is something which truly was helpful for me.
Before I ask you more things about what to do when you're low in life, because let's not forget, he's talking about all of his injuries, and in 2001, he became only the second player from India. 2001, he became only the second player from India to win the All England Championships. So he's been through that and gotten to the very highest point of badminton. And I should say, while you need no introduction, I want to say more about Gopi. As a player and as a coach, you've reached the highest, point, right? Which is every athlete's dream. You want to touch that. And it's so elusive to win those marquee events, which is rare for Indian athletes. And then as a coach, you've produced Olympic medalists, which, even in my lifetime, we didn't really know if it was going to happen at one time, right? Of course, Saina Nehwal came up, PV Sindhu came up, now there are more and more players. But I want to ask you, it's about a year to go to the Olympics. There's so much pressure on you as the national coach. Expectations have gone up. Are you feeling stressed and nervous? And how do you deal with stress and anxiety? Because I think that's something every athlete goes through, and that's what all of us go through. Especially, I'm sure, entrepreneurs go through.
It's really strange how the mind works in some sense, because in around 98, 99, 2000, I was kind of top 10 in the world. I was hoping I would win a big tournament. and I wanted it to be the Olympics in 2000 Sydney. Strangely, at the Olympics, the flooring in Sydney was concrete, and they just put a thin synthetic mat on top of it to play because it was temporary infrastructure. That was the last time, because after that BWF made it a point that no tournament should be held on concrete again. But I was the unfortunate one where I had to play that. I played a horrendously long match and I won it on fitness against one of the fittest players on the circuit. And then I go back and my knee is swollen. I almost have a golf ball kind of a swelling on my left knee. And my whole body is swollen up, and then I have 102 temperature the next day morning, and after 3 Brufens, I barely could stand on court. I lost it, and for a few months after it, I really was shaken, and I just was desperate to win. I worked really hard to win, and then I lost it, and I was like, never again in my life I will go with an expectation to any tournament. And I continued training like that, and out of the blue, in some sense, the All England win happened. And I was like super happy about it. But I said, yeah, God doesn't give you what you want, He gives you what you deserve. All your prayers and meditations were for the Olympics, you thought, but for me, it ended up, all the visualizations happened at the All England. So in some sense, I was happy with that connect. And I lived my life in a very bland manner. When I went to Olympics in even London, I wasn't desperate to win. I just was sitting there and I was very calm, thinking that Saina will win the medal and I'm okay, it's okay, it's okay. Because as a player, you win once or lose once in a day. As a coach, you're sitting for 10 matches. And you're probably losing 7 or 8. So somewhere down the line, you start to kind of even out the emotion, saying, I'm going to be really old and stressed out if I go through that emotion in every match. So you're trying to tone it down and say it's okay. You take a distance and watch the entire story from a very little bit of a distance so that your emotion is not so much. And then it continued like that. And I go back to Rio, and then the night before, and literally I couldn't sleep a minute. And the same things which were prior to 2000 Olympics just came back. So sometimes when you think that you're overcome the mind and you know you figured it out, it somehow just comes back. So I think that is one of the things. So from a stress perspective, today I take it a lot more easily. I would just back off, look at it from a distance. Especially when I'm on court, I do believe that what emotion you have adds to the player. So if you're calm and confident, it'll add to the player, whether you say it or show it or not. But if you're really agitated from inside, it will show to the player. So I make it a point to just keep my emotion very calm, and it normally works.
So that's a leadership lesson from Gopi. And yeah, I mean, emotions do,